This might look like a Mercedes GLB, but it's not. I'm auto specialist Tom Voelk for the Seattle International Auto Show, and this is the all-electric EQB. Other than badging, the big giveaway is a beak with a lot less airflow and a strip of lighting front and rear. Those glowing horizontal strips give the electric version a more planted look. There are three things that people always want to know about EVs. First is range. This is EPA rated at 243 miles. Then there's max charge rate. That's 100 kilowatts. And then, of course, price. The base MSRP of this vehicle is $55,500. But then there are options because you want the proper Mercedes experience, right? And normally that's an extra 10 grand. But here, it's only $2,500, so this is $58,000 as tested. EQB is strictly dual-motor 4MATIC all-wheel drive. Total thrust is 225 horsepower and 288 pound-feet of torque. The 70.7 kilowatt-hour liquid-cooled lithium-ion battery pack with 66.5 usable is throughout the floor and interior. It's not a flat skateboard architecture. EQB looks just like the GLB, even startup's the same. Of course, there's no sound or vibration. There's the stock-mounted selector to move forward and backward, but no real transmission. Paddles adjust the amount of recuperation drag. Drive modes, yes, this has them. I didn't notice a huge difference between them, truth be told. This EQB 300 will sprint to 60 miles an hour in about 7 seconds. Now, if you go with the 350, it shaves about a second off that time. Of course, there's no free lunch. It is more expensive and takes about 16 miles off the range. While the 300's acceleration numbers are about the same as the gas-powered GLB 250, the EV is more satisfying. There's instant torque off the line. This feels faster than it is. And it's really quiet. Electrification works really well for luxury vehicles. It's Teflon smooth, just what you'd want from a Mercedes. Some EVs try to reinvent the controls and driving experience. EQB has the same analog operation as the GLB, and that'll appeal to a lot of people. Now, this weighs about 1,000 pounds more than the gasoline version, and normally I'd complain about that, but in this case it works. The center of gravity is low because those heavy batteries are in the floor, and all of that heft makes this feel more like a Mercedes. So in this case, I really do think it works. The stiff structure is what you'd expect from a machine with a three-pointed star. Hit a pothole and it all gets absorbed nicely for a smaller sport ute. EQB is comfortable, it's easy to drive, visibility is great, and it corners well. You can get a little frisky with it. If you really chuck it hard into a corner, though, you're definitely going to feel understeer. I doubt that people are going to be autocrossing this, though. I'd like to see how this does in snowy conditions. Between the heft, even weight distribution, and quicker reaction time of the electric motors, I've found that EVs with all-wheel drive do especially well, but cold does affect batteries. All right, real-world range. It's been a little chilly here in Seattle, the low to mid-40s, and so on a full charge, the computer is saying this will only go about 210 miles, and darned if it isn't accurate. So it's not going to be hitting 243, at least in these weather conditions. Standard connected navigation determines the fastest way to where you're going and maps out charging stops if needed. At home, using level 2, EQB fully juices up in just under 8 hours, like most EVs, while you sleep. The max charge rate of 100 kilowatts means that when you're on the road, this goes from 10 to 80% in 32 minutes. That's when using a DC fast charger rated at 100 kilowatts or higher, though using a more powerful terminal will not make it take on electrons any faster. Here's the thing, this charge rate may not be an issue if you charge at home, and 85% of EV owners do that. This will juice up overnight if you're using 240 volt level 2, and it's much less expensive to charge up at home. These can be expensive. Now, if you do a lot of long-distance travel, then yes, a faster charge speed might be good. You just need to know your needs. If you've seen a GLB, you'll know exactly what the EQB looks like inside. The specs say that there's no change in cabin space. The traditional ambiance doesn't have the Star Trek vibe of the EQE or EQS. At eye level, there are strong elements and materials like this optional walnut paneling. Choose from 64 ambient lighting colors. It gives the cabin some pop. The seats are supportive and will take on drivers of all sizes. These two 10.25-inch screens, fused to look like one, get a few unique EV menus because, well, of course it does. Like many vehicles with these panels, the gauge cluster, he says in air quotes, can be switched up in a number of ways, a different look for every day of the week, huh? Or you can just make it easy and select a theme, which takes care of a number of things, including mood lighting. The back seat slides fore and aft to max out cargo or legroom. 3 adults can squeeze in, a couple will be happier. In the cargo hold, there's a place to store the optional portable charge cord. I really like these elastic straps for holding stuff that rolls around. Dropped, there's 62 cubic feet, same as the gas version. Love the flexibility of the 40-20-40 splits. The optional third row would cut into cargo room, not sure how useful it is. EQB's cargo hold is 22 cubic feet according to Mercedes, the same as the GLB. Electrification really works for the Mercedes mission. Charge at home or spend a little extra time chilling on the road, and the useful EQB gets the job done emission-free. Check it out at your local Mercedes-Benz showroom. For the Seattle International Auto Show, I'm Tom Voelk.